1. I work at a very small municipal water company in a tiny community, so it's easy to get to know and enjoy your neighbors. A bit of necessary preamble. Lines get replaced. Damage happens. When we damage stuff, it's really easy to call the affected company and let them know. They come right out to repair it and bill us. Also, no work has been done recently at this address. Onto the reason we're all here, the dirt. One dear lady came in yesterday to ask if Century Dink had called us. Cue my nonplussed expression, I asked for clarification. She explained that her internet had been down for well over a week, and that when the repairman came, he said we hit the line and to take it up with us. Me internally laughing in greedy anticipation of my hopeful proposal, "Dearest lady, would you like me to call them back?" She was initially taken aback that I would offer, but agreed to come back the next day. Today, dear listeners, for exactly that. A brief shout-out to my amazing boss, who not only approved this, but didn't make me clock out, even when she fully knew it might get spicy. She came in this afternoon. After dialing the repair line and staying on hold for 28 minutes, the poor human who had to take this call answered. After verifying dearest lady's identity and account number, he asked how he could help. I introduced myself. "My name is Divide Education 919, calling from Ye Olde Municipal Water Company. Our mutual client was told by one of your representatives to take up her broken internet line with us, and so she has. I am here. Now, did you expect me to go repair this damn cable myself?" 2 full seconds of silence follows. "Again, my name is Poor Harried Representative, and I am happy to take responsibility for this call." I lurked in the background, finding the contact info for alternative to Dink, whilst they created a date for the repair. And at the end he said, "Can I help with anything else?" I said, "I hope you email the last person who helped dearest lady, and let them know how stupid you felt getting this call. How stupid this call was, and how sorry I am that they didn't receive it. Don't fuck with older HOA residents, I'm your huckleberry." 2. I had the misfortune of partnering with a terrible disaster of a woman on a project where we would split the work and then split the profit after the software was produced. I had worked with the woman on another project that had been really annoying due to her chronic procrastination, but we got it to market eventually. I needed to produce yet another project out for the sake of my income, so I reluctantly made the mistake of working with her again. I figured I could protect myself from all the pitfalls we had last time by covering everything in the contract and putting penalties in place. She didn't care if she breached a contract. She only cared if it affected her financially. This time, she had to bring in another person to handle the work she'd procrastinated on so badly last time, or I wouldn't work with her. Things seemed to start off well. During milestone meetings, she reported everything was on schedule. Then the next phase started, and she needed to upload all the work to our server. We're a small company, so we use a subscription service for our server. I paid for her subscription to the same server so she could get her work up. The server is very useful for collaboration on huge projects, and I know she used the server for her own projects in addition to the one we collaborated on. Whatever. I go to check the work that's turned in, and it's one item that's less than a third done, and just blank files with the file names of what she was supposed to have done. WTF. I asked her why all this work she said she confirmed at the milestone meetings wasn't finished. She tried to claim it was done, she just needed to organize it. Days passed. It's done, but my internet capped my data and I can't put it up. It's done, but it's on my work computer. Tomorrow, for sure. Then finally the person quit, and what you have is all he did. She was trying to get work out of him without paying for it, I found out later, and he bailed after doing the small amount I got. So in addition to being a lazy procrastinator, I learned she was a liar, cheats her workers, and she put the whole project and the thousands of dollars I'd put into it in jeopardy. I had to hire my own person and pay him myself to get this project done. She was useless. She still kept a majority of her share, minus some penalties, because that was the only way I could get her to agree to let me take over that part of it and ever get the project done. Finally, the software launched, and I was done with her forever. I told her I was canceling her subscription to the server. If she wanted it, she should put her credit card on it to pay for it from now on. Why would you cancel that? I thought I could continue using it and have all my other work on there. Go ahead and continue using it, just pay for it yourself. This is a lot of money in my country. Could you keep paying for it? No. Why not? This is how she was. She had no shame. She felt she could get whatever she wanted if she just harassed people so much that they would eventually just cave to her. And unfortunately, I'd had to cave to her in the past for the sake of the project, so she figured I'd do it again. I refused to engage further on this and told her to take her stuff off the server or pay for the subscription herself. Well, I'm not changing the credit card because I didn't know you would cancel it on me. I need at least 6 more months. I didn't engage with her. I had used a virtual card that I could turn on and off because I knew better than to trust her to cancel the service. Also, this ensured she couldn't use the card elsewhere. I shut the card off. The next month... I can't get any of my files from the server. What's going on? You couldn't even give me another month? I'm never going to work with her again. I'm finished working with her now. I blocked her. Then had to block her email too because she wouldn't give up. Pay for your own server subscription. 3. So long story short, I was out in the afternoon, got hungry, and saw a subway. Went inside and joined the line. Only 4 people, but the front was an old man, balding, sports backpack, bicycle helmet on his hip. He was having a small argument with the cashier. At first I didn't think much of it, but the cashier kept repeating, "Don't do what you did last time." Eventually the old man got basically the cheapest option available and ordered it to go. But after he had paid, he started talking about how he wanted a table. The cashier argued with him, saying he had already paid for it to go, literally pointing to the doggy bag. Well, the old man was saying the bag was his now, and since this was a restaurant, he deserved a table. When the cashier called him out, he just said that was between Subway and the government, not him. Obviously, this was annoying everybody, but I decided to just keep my mouth shut and wait for my turn. But the old man just kept going on and on. At one point, he literally dared them to throw him out. At that point, my temper boiled over and I called him out for being an asshole. To his credit, he didn't shout or anything. Instead, he acted like a holier-than-thou internet libertarian, acting offended and saying he was just standing up for his principles. I responded that he didn't have any principles, and he was just being an asshole. He then repeated about his principles, and talked about how the politicians were taxing stuff. There had just been a local election, but the Conservatives won, so I don't know what he was complaining about. And how this was a demonstration. I answered that 1, no politician was going to notice or care about him, 2, he was just harassing ordinary workers, 3, he didn't have any principles, he was just a greedy asshole. I wish I could tell you that everyone started clapping and he eventually left in shame, but none of that happened. Instead, it eventually came my turn. He went back to his table. Sadly, they didn't throw him out. I told them that next time they should throw him out, then ordered my sub to go and left like a normal person. So, yeah. And to clarify for anyone outside of Europe who may not know, here you can either order to go, which is cheaper and not subject to tax. Or you can eat at Subway, which counts as dining and is subject to tax. He ordered to go, paid the lower price, but still wanted to eat in the restaurant. 4. I work in a small private apartment building in the center of London. It's pretty nice to rent, but to own an apartment in this building is ridiculous. Several months ago, we started to see water dripping down above the fireplace in the reception. Looking into the spec of the building, We pretty much knew it was coming from a specific first-floor apartment of Core A, Meg. We have 2 cores, A and B, that run alongside each other. We emailed Meg, who promptly told us that there must be a mistake. Her apartment was definitely not the cause of the leak, and said to look into the lady opposite, who would be Core B, first floor. Jade. Jade is in a wheelchair. Her father bought the apartment for her after her accident and had the whole apartment redone to fit her needs. Jade is a lovely, kind person, and when we asked to look at her master bathroom to investigate, was very accommodating to this request. We confirmed that her apartment was not causing the leak, and went back to Meg, asking for access to continue the investigation, but Meg was not having it. We went back and forth with her, but here are a list of excuses we got for why we can't get access. 1. I'm sick. This was used counting at 27 times, which is a lot, but we see her all the time as she has to pass through reception to enter and exit, collect parcels and mail. On the phone, she would use a fake deep voice, but would speak perfectly fine to the concierge staff. 2. I'm not home. This one is pretty funny as her apartment is above my office, and I can hear footsteps. She is very heavy-footed. 3. Family over. She had her mum on one occasion, but never saw anyone else when the excuse was used. 4. Her child's birthday. She has 2, but seems to have had 9 birthday parties for them. 5. Harassment. This one is after 3 emails trying to organize access. They leave the leak to get worse, but we started to cancel out all 7 apartments that are above her. We knew from the plans that it had to be her. But by doing this, we could go to her saying that we were not singling her out, as we have checked all apartments above hers. During this time, she had emailed complaints saying that we were harassing her, making fun of her children, causing great distress due to us emailing her for access, singling her out due to her not being from this country, her wording, not mine, and also threatening to remove us from the contract of the building, which can only be done with a leaseholder vote. All of this to then backtrack after our legal team got involved, and she said she never said those things. But we have the emails to prove that she said these things. The leak was getting worse, with basically all the wood becoming moldy and starting to smell. We informed her that we will be gaining access as she is breaching the lease of her apartment. We will be contacting the owner from then on. She was shocked and stated that she was the owner. She was not. Meg became very frosty with us all and said she would change the locks, and said we were in breach of her lease. Not the case at all. We did everything by the book, and even gave her more time needed than stated in the lease. We only need to give 24 hours notice, but we were giving her 1 week. A few days later, Jade let us know a WhatsApp group had been made by Meg. She posted her number through everyone's letterbox, stating she was a leaseholder and wanted to inform everyone on what's going on, telling them we are not taking any action to investigate the leak, which then gets the leaseholders angry, as this very much affects their service charge greatly. Finally, the leaseholder of her property gave us free rein to access her property, and wouldn't you know it was coming from her master bathroom under her tub. Of course, she claimed in the group chat that we finally listened to her, because she knew all along. The damage was bad to the building and to the staff due to the leaseholders thinking that we are the reason. But as soon as we take her to court, which we are, everything should be back to normal. We hope. 5. So this happened yesterday at my friendly neighborhood Walmart, which has always had self-checkout on one side, but just recently installed the second set at the other entrance. It's usually busy for a Sunday, and I'm there grabbing a few things for dinner, rice, beans, meat, etc. Under 10 items. I've always been under the impression that the self-checkout is for those of us with less items than a full basket, but whatever, I digress. I go to get in line in the new section of the self-checkout kiosks. A couple of workers are gathered around the one kiosk that has a red light on above it. It's not available for use. Well, cue this older woman with a full basket of groceries, and about 3 people deep in the line.
Why is that one not available? There's a full line. I thought these were new.
The workers, who can't be more than 20, already look annoyed with the situation, but one of them walks to the edge of the display barrier around the self-checkout to address her. "Ma'am, we're not sure what's going on, but that kiosk is only displaying information in Spanish. We were trying to see if we could adjust the language settings, but we can't figure it out. Anyone's free to use it, though." The woman lets out an audible sigh, apparently not good enough.
If it's not in English, how am I supposed to know what I'm paying for?
The worker looks confused as much as the rest of us. "Well, I mean, are you going to be scanning each item? So, you would know, wouldn't you?" I can practically hear the dripping sarcasm from the worker, and I'm loving it.
How hard can it be to change the language? Why would it come in Spanish?
The Walmart worker seems to be dying a little inside. "Ma'am, when they set it up, they must have made a mistake in the initial install. I'm not sure what else to tell you."
Well, they need to come fix it. They're holding up the line.
"They don't work in the building, ma'am. It's a vendor install, and it's a national contract. We have to schedule them to come out."
Can you do it? What are you here for if you're not going to help? Just change it to English.
At this point, a third Walmart worker walks up. This one is a manager of some kind. He walks up to a woman and looks over her cart. "Miss, you have too many items for self-checkout as it is. You're going to have to go to an open register." The woman begins huffing and puffing about how she would be done already if that kiosk wasn't broken, to which the manager corrects her it's not broken. During this exchange, several kiosks did open up, but she refused to take any of them while she had her extremely loud conversation and blocked the entrance to the kiosk area with her full basket. I took slight comfort in the fact that there were only 3 open registers, and those lines were even longer than self-checkout. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Idiots in the Wild, episode 134. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please do poke the like button and share the video with friends and family, and your cats and puppies, and if you have a lizard, maybe a snake, and all that sort of thing. If you'd like to get the videos a little bit early, then you can support me through my Patreon, which is linked in the description. There's also a link to the Hellfreezer merchandise store on Teespring, and you can make donations during streams and videos like this one. While you don't have to do this, and you never have to do this, it really does help me out, and I appreciate every penny I get. Thank you kindly. Alright, let's see. Oh yes, thoughts on the checkouts in the last video. It is true, I think generally speaking, the smaller checkouts are for people with, just a reasonable amount of items in a basket. But when one of the stores I go to, maybe it's 2, I've not been in Tesco for a while, but in one of the stores, they've also got self-checkouts with belts on it as well. You would on a regular checkout, except there's not a person at the end of it. I've never used those because, generally speaking, I usually just get a basket worth of things in each store I go into, because I like to shop about when I'm out and about. I don't generally get stuff from one store unless it's a delivery. Okay, right. I don't think there's any other business today. No birthday shoutouts as far as I'm aware. No, we're still in September. Okay, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is... Well, let's stick to the theme. Do you like self-checkouts? Personally, I'm quite fond of them. I never used to like them. Specifically, I didn't like them when I was working in retail, because the last thing I wanted to do on a day off was have to deal with scanning food and other bits and bobs. But I have gradually, the longer I've been away from retail, I've come to appreciate them more, because I just like to get in and out of the store quicker, and most of the time the self-checkouts will have fewer people at them. They've gotten busier over the years, but they'll have fewer people at them, so I can get in and out a bit quicker. The only time I find it causes problems is in one store, I won't say which store, their scanner is a bit crap if you're using a phone. You've got the store's app, so you need to scan like a little barcode to get the discounts, which is stupid. But that's what I do, and it's a bit finicky if it's scanning on a phone screen. That's the only thing I'll say about that. But let me know what you think in a comment below. Do you like self-checkouts? Do you have do you prefer that someone do your shopping for you and then deliver it to you? That can be fun, although I do find it a bit restrictive. So it's something I only do when I'm feeling ill. I did do it for a few weeks there when the old psoriasis was acting up, and quite frankly, I couldn't walk very well. Bit better now, and I'm going to be getting UV treatment for that over the next few weeks, in conjunction with other medication. But that's, you don't really need to know that. Okay, so let me know what you think in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to stop rambling and head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.